Hi, Laura.
Hello.
All the best for the tomorrow's match. You have come through a very lead patch in the initial group stage of this match, where even against England also all out for 69, 97 against Australia. After that, India's match winning against 3 wickets, we won against India. From that time, you have not looked back. So my question will be, how tough will be facing Indian team here in Mumbai for the final, where not only the mental strength of Indian team, because they have scored a very huge runs last match, again crowd will also be there. How you prepare yourself for tomorrow's match?
Yeah, it's going to be a very tough game. I think, with the whole crowd behind India, probably a sold-out stadium, it's going to be a very exciting opportunity. But at the same time, I think it puts a lot of pressure on them as well. They have the whole country behind them and are sort of expected to win, I guess. So, yeah, I think it sort of plays in our favour, hopefully. We're very excited for the game. They're a very good side. We're going to have to play some really good cricket to beat them, but we're really excited for the opportunity.
Laura, each of the last 3 World Cup contests against India, you've emerged on the winning side. How much of a factor is that going to be tomorrow?
Yeah, we're trying not to think too much about the past at all. I think, like I said before, every cricket game starts at 0. We can't sort of bring any of our history into this game, whether it be finals that we've lost or games that we've won against India. We're just really trying to erase all of that stuff and start completely afresh in this game. I think there's big pressure on both teams to perform, and I think whoever stays the calmest under that pressure is going to most likely come out on top tomorrow.
South Africa defeated India in the league stage, and you can always take inspiration from that match. But we have also seen, Australia defeated India in the league stage, but India were a different side in the semi-finals. So what kind of contest you expect in the final, and any lessons that you have taken from your previous meetings?
I think knockout cricket is completely different to league cricket. I think, like we've seen, I think people are able to do some very special things in knockout games, like we saw from Jamie the other night. So I think, starts totally afresh. I don't think we're going to be looking into our group game against them. We know we have to play some really good cricket. They're a really strong side and have just come off of a really good game as well, so they'll be high on confidence. We'll just have to play some good cricket, stick to our basics, stick to what we've been doing well throughout the tournament.
Hi Laura, coming to this ground where you have not played a single match this World Cup yet, what do you think will be the biggest challenge to quickly assess the conditions, apart from the crowd factor? Because conditions might be batting friendly, and you had said in Wolvaardt that might be good for you, but it's a headache for you while setting the field.
Yeah, I enjoy it as a batter, but not so much as a captain, the super flat wickets. But yeah, like you said, obviously it's going to be a really big crowd, probably the biggest crowd that a lot of our girls have played in front of. A lot of eyeballs on the game, a lot of added pressure. And probably pretty batting friendly, so it might be pretty high scoring, which is why I think if we're just able to stay really calm, it'll be really important. It may feel like there's a lot happening tomorrow, with boundaries and the crowd and the noise, but I think we just need to stay as grounded as possible and as focused as we can on the moment and what we need to do.
Laura, hi. This stadium will be, tomorrow sea of blue with all the Indian supporters there, 90% or maybe even more. How do you plan to silence the crowd?
Hopefully we win. I guess that will silence them.
Laura, this is the first time that neither Australia nor England will be there in the final of the Women's ODI World Cup. So does that mark a shift in sort of, powers of the game in women's cricket? And how good is it for the health of the sport that you see India and South Africa contesting this match?
Definitely very good for the health of the sport. I think it's very exciting that we have a potential new champion of the World Cup. I think it just shows how much the women's game is developing and how different countries are being able to use new resources and develop really good quality cricketers. I think, like you've seen with the Indian team, the WPL, how many new cricketers have sort of surfaced and what good cricket they've been playing lately. I think we've also come a long way as a team and really proud of the strides that we've made in the last couple of years. I'm very excited and for the opportunity to be able to play in a final.
Hi Laura, congratulations on reaching yet another final. I just want to ask, how has the heartbreak of the previous final losses shaped this team's mindset and approach going into this final tomorrow?
I think for me personally, as I'm really trying not to think about the result, I think in those finals, or the first time I was in the final, you automatically think about the trophy and think about winning and sort of get excited. And now I'm just really trying to stay present. We still have a really big game ahead of us against a really quality side. I'm trying not to think too far ahead. Just really need to focus on what I need to do tonight at practice and then what I need to do tomorrow morning. Just really sort of slow it down. I think the first time you're in those finals, it feels like a really big, fast-paced, event, whereas I think we need to all slow it down and take a big breath and hope we're able to do that as a group.
Hi, Laura. All the best for tomorrow. We've been meeting a lot of South Africans over the last couple of days, and we keep asking them, both the countries are in similar situations. It'll be a first World Cup win for either of them. But then every South African tells us, you guys deserve it, but we want it 5% more. It'll make a difference 5% more. What does that mean? What do you think this will tangibly do back home in terms of, I'm not saying you should look that far off, but given that you're in a final, you're like one step away from winning a World Cup, what does it mean for South Africa as a country perhaps?
Yeah, I think both teams really want it 5% more. Both captains will probably tell you that. But yeah, for us, I think it would just be really special for women's cricket in the country. We've recently got domestic league introduced, so I can only imagine what something like a World Cup trophy would do back at home. Just the amount of girls that will be able to see it on TV, that will be able to hear that we're a World Cup winning nation, is hopefully very inspirational. It would be awesome.
Just following upon that, and all the best. The Cape Town final marked a significant moment in women's game in South Africa. Could you talk about the developments happened since and the impact it has had the both finals, and again what it means to be here to have a chance at going it again?
Yeah, that game was pretty special. Obviously, the first time we were in the final, being at home in front of a home crowd, a sold-out Newlands was pretty special. And since then, we've seen domestic contracts be introduced back at home. Now we have the opportunity to go one step further, and I can sort of only imagine what it could do for women's cricket in the country. So, yeah, either way, I'm still really proud of the group, though. I think we've had a really good tournament up until this final, and I think we've already created quite a lot of noise back at home and been getting a lot of messages from different people who have sort of started watching women's cricket because of this tournament. So that's really cool.
Hi Laura. I just wanted to ask you about Marizan Cup. We obviously know like she's a great, and the kind of performance she put on in the semi-final, like that was amazing. So what is it to have her in the side, and what kind of stuff does she talk to you guys about, and how the conversations with her are like? Can you tell us a bit about her work ethic and everything?
She's probably one of the hardest workers in the side, probably hits the most balls, does the most prep, which is saying something for how good she is. She probably doesn't need to do half of that work because she's so talented. But yeah, I think she gets a lot of confidence from her preparation, so I think she's always real specific on the way that she prepares. She's probably the most specific person I've seen training-wise out of everyone that I've trained with. She sort of has to do things in a certain way, and I think that shows in her cricket. She's been one of the best in the world for a very long time. I think just because she's so consistent and doesn't ever, slip up on her prep. She's two players in one. I think she could probably play for any side in the world as a batter or as just a bowler. So we're very lucky to have her. And then experience-wise, she obviously has all the knowledge in the world cricket-wise, so she's able to share that in the dressing room. So yeah, we're very fortunate to have her.
Captain, just touching on the mental resilience part of the squad in terms of how it all began with 69 all out, and then there was a high as in terms of how the performances goes usually for the teams in terms of the ebbs and flows of the game that we know. But then 69 and then 97, how much of digging deep you had to do as in to put out those tough sessions, not just out in the practice sessions, but inside the rooms where no camera is watching, nobody is watching, having those sort of conversations. What was the role? How much of the imprint of your head coach that he has had on your campaign, if you can talk about that?
Yeah, I think those games were definitely more of a mental switch, or coming back from those games, a mental switch than it's something we've done in training. I think, we don't just lose our skill or gain our skill overnight. It's definitely just a couple of games that we had to put behind us, and we were able to bounce back really well from those two games on both occasions. I think Manla's been awesome with that, just really taking the positives and taking the learnings out of those games, while at the same time not sort of dwelling on 69 all out. I think if we focused too much on that, and it wouldn't have been a good campaign for us. So I think we took the learnings, put it behind us, and just really focused on the next game and what we needed to do well.
Hi Laura, just one question from back home. We know you're not someone for the big Coach Carter speeches in the dressing room, but what is the one thing you'd say to your team ahead of probably the biggest game of their lives, facing hosts India in front of more than 1 billion people?
Yeah, Manla normally does the really inspirational stuff, the you're carrying your country type of thing. And then I think I just come in with a little stay calm girls at the end. I think it'll be super important for us to just stay as present as we can tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of noise, a lot happening, a lot of maybe different routines than you're used to in a normal game. But at the end of the day, it's just a game of cricket. And I think whichever team is able to do the basics for longer throughout the game and sort of hold their nerve for longer, I think the game goes in ebbs and flows, and there will be periods where they score a lot of runs and periods where we fight back and so forth. So I think just holding our nerve and staying calm is going to go a long way tomorrow.
Thank you so much.